back to my channel. Today I'm going to be flipping through my journal for the second half of 2021. It's looking quite beaten up and used, which I actually quite like because it shows that I've used it and it's had good life. So I'm going to flip through and show you that. This is the journal that I used for the first half of 2021, so definitely go and check out that flip through, which I will link for you. So starting off with the first pages, I've just done my name with a bit of the theme that I carried for the first intro pages and the month of July. I always have my grid spacing guide on the inside and then some verses to keep me encouraged. I put this throughout my bullet journal. I tried including the year at a glance, but I didn't really use it. I thought I was missing it. I clearly wasn't. It didn't really do much for my bullet journaling. Then I had my reading list page, which I didn't complete my reading list this year. This year has been a bit of a struggle towards the second half, and you'll see that reflect throughout my journal. But again, I've got Bible verses to keep me encouraged throughout. Then into my July setup, which was one of the most enjoyable that I did. It was just so easy to do these floral designs, and I also loved that I brought in some of my lettering style in the headings. I kept it in my mood and habit tracker pages, which I really liked. Another page I didn't keep up with is gratitude spreads, which I'm not going to incorporate much into my bullet journal as a spread on its own, but I'm going to be using a new setup this year, so you'll see how I'm going to be doing gratitude and journaling throughout the year. But the weekly pages for this I really enjoyed. Again, doodling these florals was ridiculously easy to do. I loved making these plant pots and I love the notes. So this is the first of one of my sort of mental health spreads of ideas of things to do when I'm feeling low. And then this is what I do when I don't have time to illustrate a weekly spread. I use stickers and I try and keep the theme, but it works an absolute treat and does really save on time, and the pages still look really cute and colourful and interesting. So then into my August setup, this theme was definitely inspired by Shayla Campbell, who I'm just obsessed with. Her illustrations and her bullet journal is amazing, so definitely check her out. But I tried Dutch Door for the first time and put some goals behind it, and then just reflected the design on the back. And then for my mood board, my mood tracker, I tried something different. I did these floral petals to fill in, and I really didn't like it because I can actually clearly see what my mood was doing. So I actually reverted back to doing my graph methods. Throughout my journal, I did things like mood boards and Bible verse pages as fun space fillers and just easy spreads to do when I just want to do some mindful drawing and illustrating. And then these weekly spreads in my August are some of my favourite weekly spreads that I've done. I love the Dutch Doors. I really ran with it this month. And I love the colours. I put some Bible verses in the Dutch Door. And I love using the Archer and Oliver Chronograph pens on top of the craft paper because it just looks gorgeous. This is a washi tape spread I did using the Italian Summer and Fragrance washi tape sets, and I really loved this spread. It's probably one of my favourite washi tape spreads that I've done. And then I used some more washi tape to create this spread for August, which looks really different to the theme. I do this often. If I feel like going somewhere with a weekly, I just go for it and fit it in with my theme. But again, running away with the Dutch Door, I loved this sort of grid board Dutch Door that I did, which was really fun. And then sort of went back into my theme. I tried to incorporate doing gratitudes behind the Dutch Door here, which was quite nice. I don't know if it's something I'll keep. We'll see. I like exploring these things when I bullet journal. And then these are some spreads that I created for Paper World Shop, and I loved creating these. They were so much fun. It was great to explore a different style. You can see it's completely different from my usual. I don't know if it's quite me or something that I'll keep, but it's definitely influenced my future bullet journal setups, which you'll see. And then this is my September spread. You guys loved this spread. This is one of your favourites for the year. Funny enough, it actually wasn't one of my favourites because I didn't like the calendar that I'd done there. It looked a bit messy. But I did like the sort of autumn florals and the jars and the books and the sort of check shapes and things. It was really fun to do. As you can see, from here on I started struggling to keep up with my mood and habit tracker. My mental health struggled a bit towards the end of the month. I thought about going through and filling in the gaps, but I want to be authentic with you guys as always, especially with bullet journaling and mental health. I'm such an advocate for it helping, so I definitely want to be honest about when I've struggled to fill in my pages. and show you that it's not the biggest deal in the world. You just move on. So I did some self-care spreads as well, again for the autumn winter season. This was a really fun spread to do as well, and also I find that my self-care routine changes with seasons, so it's sometimes a good idea to do some different ones. I love the weekly spreads in this as well. This grid wall pattern that I do is one of my favourites in my bullet journal, so I'm sure I'll do it again this year. Then we have my October spread. This one I did a video of, so I will link that as well for you to see. This was my second favourite setup of the year. I loved the colours, and again you'll see that I struggled filling in my mood boards, my mood tracker and habit tracker, but you just move on. Just move on, guys, don't stress about it. It will happen, life happens. Again, I tried a different gratitude spread, tried to do a shorter one, didn't really use it much, so I don't think that's something I'll be keeping. But the themes in the weeklies for this month was so much fun to do, because I tried out new layouts. I tried out this sort of spider diagram layout. I tried this sort of columned pattern layout, which was one of my favourites, so I've actually kept that. And then I've just got some spreads. You'll see some spreads throughout with companies that I've worked with. So that was Notebook Therapy's autumn collection, which was amazing. So yeah, there you see a spread that I just didn't complete. I didn't jot down anything at all the entire week. And this is what it gets like sometimes when my mental health is bad, but I just go with it. I still enjoyed creating this spread. I still enjoy looking at it, even though it's empty. It's fine, it happens. Just move on and continue. Don't let planner guilt stop you from enjoying bullet journaling. So this is my November theme. This was absolutely my favourite theme of the year, the entire year, in both my bullet journals. These illustrations were inspired by Jesmery Art, and I've linked her in all of my posts on my Instagram. But I just loved the illustrations. I loved the acrylographs layered over the tombos. I loved the colours. I loved the layout. It was just my absolute favourite, and it was just the most fun to do. So it's definitely a technique that I'm keeping. Then I did some theme inspiration pages for this spread, because you were all asking so much about the colours that I used. And actually, theme inspiration spreads are something that I'm going to keep in my bullet journal because I love them. Again, this is a spread that I did for Rytech, and the highlights page that I've done here is another one I'm going to keep, so you'll see me doing that throughout the month. I loved doing this. It was so fun writing down all the great things that happened in the month, and it's also great to look down because as humans we tend to remember the negatives. And then this weekly November spread is one of my favourites. You'll see that this sort of alternate grid layout I'm going to be using again. I've actually used it in the first setup for my weekly this year, which you'll see. And then on Instagram, I started doing reels showing you how to illustrate some of the doodles from the month, and didn't get to complete that because, again, it was a stressful month. My mental health was not the greatest, so I had to give myself a bit of a break. So then this is December, and this was by far your favourite bullet journal theme of all the months that I did. I absolutely adored this, but my goodness, it took so long that I actually struggled to keep up doing weeklies with the same pattern throughout the bullet journal for the rest of the month, so you'll see. And also December is just a hectic month, so I didn't actually get to keep up with bullet journaling as much as I normally do. But this is a weekly spread that I did, and then here you'll see a highlight spread that I kept. I really love this theme. It just took so long. So then for my last spread of this month, I decided to use these stickers from Tittle and Jot instead, which I absolutely love. They're just so festive and adorable. But that is the last spread that I did in the bullet journal. And then as usual, in the back, I do all my doodling and sort of colour matching and theme ideas. I just don't show these to you on Instagram because it's not very aesthetically pleasing pages. So that's just my little secret at the back of my bullet journal. But that's the second half of my bullet journal for 2021. I loved using both these journals. They were just perfect. They got beautifully chunky and full, which is a joy to see. So now onto my 2022 setup, and this year my word is simplicity. So instead of using 4 planners, I'm using 3, and I'm keeping the sizes quite similar. For the first, this is my Bible journal. I used it more than my on-the-go Filofax Malden, so I'm going to be switching this out and showing you this in my setup instead of my Malden. And this is a B6TN that I got from a small shop called Curiosity Shop Leather. Then my main planner is going to be my Passion Planner. This is a weekly in the size small, and I was a bit nervous about the size of this because before I used the medium, but I've actually started writing in this now, and my writing's quite small, so it's actually worked perfectly. But it's just such a beautiful, simple planner. I love the feel of Passion Planners. I love the layout. For me, it's the best layout that I've ever used. I went through a spiral phase with Golden Call, and while I loved it, I just keep coming back to Passion Planner. So this is the one I'm going to be using. I'm just going to give you a quick flip through as well. This is the weekly layout that wins for me. It's got the time trackers, it's got space for personal and work to-do lists. So I use this for all of my planning ahead. In the front, it gives you space for doing mind mapping, for any goals and visions and things that you've got for the year. It helps you break it down. It's got monthly pages again with heaps of space, and to-do lists that are split between personal and work, which is what I really, really love about Passion Planner. And just look at how much space there is for to-do lists. I just never run short of space. It's just such a wonderful planner. So of course I'll show you more of that when I use it on Instagram. Then I got some of their monthly tabs in the colours Earthly Neutrals. I love the colours. I've never used any of their monthly tabs before, and I'm still deciding whether I'll put them on there, but I'm going to give them a go because I've seen them on their Instagram and they look really good. And I think it will just make it easier flipping from month to month to have some of these tabs available to use. So the bullet journal I'm going to be using is by Tittle and Jot. I used the Tittle and Jot journal at the start of 2021. I'm going to use it again, and I have to do an unboxing on camera for you because it is an experience unboxing this journal. They package it so beautifully. These journals are organic. They are unbleached, the pages, so they have a bit of a cream tinge. They're just so beautiful. And I have obviously opened this before because I'm too impatient, so you can see from the wrapper that I've actually opened it before, but I still have to show you this unboxing experience because it is gorgeous. But the journal colour that I'm using is beige, and I actually gave one of these bullet journals away last year. I was sad to see it go, so I got in touch with Tittle and Jot because I love working with them. They're a fantastic company, and they sent me this gorgeous bullet journal. I love the characters it has. You can see the different colours in the organic linen. One thing about this journal is so difficult to keep clean, so by the end of the video you'll see when I was setting up I've actually put some ink marks on it, but I'm going to embrace it. I love it when journals look like they've been used and lived through. But I'm just going to give you a quick flip through. There's not really much to flip through, but I just want to show you something fun that this journal does. And they have these gorgeous cards slotted into different pages. I think there's about six or eight of them, and they're so cute. They're just wonderful little cards. You can give them as a gift. I actually used some of them in my bullet journal that I used at the start of the year. So with my Bible journal, I'm actually getting the leather cover replaced. So once I have my new one, I will set it up for you and show you in another video. Now, unfortunately, lighting and the new desk that I cannot move have not allowed me to be able to film myself setting up my new bullet journal for you, but I'm just gathering my tools here to show you some of what I've used in my new setup, and I'll do a flip through for you. I will link absolutely everything I've used in the description down below. In this setup, I've used a selection of Arch & Olive acrylograph pens from two different sets, which are the Jewel and Cool Fall. Then I've used my Sakura Pigment Microns for illustrating, my Tombow 922 for the accents, my Unisball Signo Broad Whites for highlights, my Sarasa clip for my writing, and the Tombow Maxi Power Tape. So in the front, I've just written my name and the date. Then, as usual, the first page I do is my grid spacing. I simply split these into thirds both ways and halves both ways, and then I number down the pages so I know how many squares are there. And throughout my journal, I dot Bible verses everywhere because these are so encouraging to me. My bullet journal is primarily for my mental health, for logging and for reflection, so this is why I put so much well-being and care and uplifting Bible verses in here. Then I have my visions and goals, which I split into 6 categories to help me think of them a bit easier. I've covered the health one up because there's lots of personal bits in there. So this is a new layout for me. I usually have a reading list on a full page, as you saw in my flip through with the books already picked out, but it was really restricting. So this time on the bottom half, I have my ideal morning routine, and then I have my reading list at the top where I can fill out the books that I've chosen to read. And then I've just put these tabs on the pages so that I can quickly flick to them as and when I need. Then I've got some more Bible verses. I also love doing these pages because you can get a bit creative with them. So I did this kind of notice board look. The clips you see are cut out from a washi tape shop, washi tape. So again, I'll link those all in the description for you. Then I did a 2022 cover page. Again, this is new for me, but I saw it on Instagram and decided to hop on the trend. Again, more Bible verses. So this is my January cover page. I decided to continue the theme from my initial pages, and I love this setup. I love the font as well. Again, I've added some colour in with my arsenal of acrylograph pens. I've added some more Bible verses that are really important to me. I've done a mood and habit tracker, which I do all the time. Again, continuing this sort of vertical title theme. And with my mood tracker, I do a simple graph, and I have just smiley faces going from very happy to very sad. And then what I do is I mark off the weekends with these sort of columns you see here, just so it's easier for me to follow. Then I've got my habit tracker again, which is really simple, and I'm just going to blot out the days when I manage to keep up with my good habits. Then finally into my weekly spread. As you can see, I've done this sort of alternate theme that I carried over from the November spread that I did, and I've just done a sort of monogram of each day of the week, and then I'll fill in the areas with my writing and journaling for the week. So I loved using the acrylograph pens to layer here. This is what these pens do so well, and I'm obsessed with them. I love using them. So that is my 2022 setup so far. Make sure to follow me on Instagram to see all of my updated spreads as I go, as I post more there than I do here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more content coming soon. Have a great year. Take care.